What's going on, everyone? I'm Dr. Ryan Balmes, sports physical therapist with ENDVR Health. Thank you for listening and watching the ENDVR Health podcast. I have a guest with me today, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hey guys, I'm Umama Kibria, the founder of Small and Strong Fitness on Instagram, as well as the host of Sweat with ATL, and the founder and CEO of SASS Brands.
You do a lot.
I do a lot of things, but I'm just very passionate.
Thank you so much for coming. I just shot you a message on Instagram and you were quick with it and you're like, I'd love to. And I was like, oh, this is great.
Well, I'm all about supporting the Atlanta fitness community and people that are actually delivering really great, valuable information. And that's exactly what you're doing. So it is my pleasure to be in your presence.
Oh, well, thank you. But no, thank you for coming. The one thing, the thing about PTs, like we're dealing with more injuries, right?
Yeah.
So we see people when they're at their lowest in terms of like their function, their ideal situation. Mm-hmm. But to me, I feel like trainers or people that encourage people to exercise, they're our like biggest allies. It sounds weird. I've told this once at another talk with Fit Atlanta. I was like, put me out of business. I want people to be at their healthiest, right? Mm-hmm. To hang out with people like you, have fun on your group workouts. You don't need to see me. But if you do, fine, I'll work with you. But at the same time, I'd want you to go out there and be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That preventative step, right? But it takes giving people the right education from the start so they know exactly what they're getting into, but also knowing that, hey, it's okay to try something new. If you get hurt, we've got options for you to take care of you and get you back in the game. But honestly, what I've learned through this fitness journey is my injuries have been the most pivotal points in helping me actually learn what I'm doing, be more of an empowered leader, and to go back and get stronger. And I'm so grateful. I mean, I hurt my L5 disc squatting. I've had a groin injury before, and all those things help me learn about mobility, how to properly do dynamic stretches, not static stretches, and how to squat properly, how to breathe. Like all these cues that when you're excited about fitness, you just kind of jump into it. But it's really the physical therapists that help you and guide you through those exercises. So I'm grateful for the work that you guys do.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head in terms of like, to me, I know I've been injured before, and it's like, it's like a hit to your ego. You're like, son of a, no. How can I be injured? No way. But I think the beautiful thing about it is you're right. Like it gives you the opportunity to show to yourself, yeah, you could actually be better than what you thought you were.
Oh, absolutely.
But you have to be ready to accept that injury.
So that's the thing. It's shifting the mindset, right? Yeah. Of, okay, ow, I got hurt, but okay, fun. I get to start a new series of training that helps me get stronger and get back at it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it starts with that, but that's what most people's ego won't let them get in that.
And I don't know if they are aware of it. And it's even funny when I meet prospective clients. I do the, complimentary call for a reason because I want to make sure like we're the right fit.
Absolutely.
Right? Because then if we're not, I know plenty of other good PTs here in Atlanta that would love to work with you. But it's more like, it's so funny, like you'll hear it in the conversations. It's like, I don't know if this will really work and all that. No worries. And then I'm just like, well, let's talk it out. But yeah, the ego could be very strong in terms of no way.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear it where they're like, yeah, I've been having this injury for like 6 months. I thought it'd go away. I was like, 6 months?
6 months? What are you doing? But that's so true. But it's also, I think there is a lot of misleading information online that prevents us from wanting to get out there and seek help, right? But I think it just comes with understanding that it's a new phase, right? New opportunity to grow and learn.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it's kind of like, so did you watch the Masters this past weekend?
No, but I know Tiger Woods won. I did not watch Game of Thrones either.
But that's props to you. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I got time for that. Props. So, Tiger Woods' story, and any other professional athlete, I've worked with a few. When they're hurt and that is like your livelihood, there's no uphill battle greater than that. In terms of like, you're at your peak, you're injured, and it's a question of, can I get back there?
Yeah.
Or the other question is, do I even want to get back there? And so to see him, I think it's an inspiration to everyone.
Absolutely. But that is true resilience right there, right? Like you have everyone talking down at you, saying that, oh, there's no way you'll be able to make a comeback and try to win. Yeah, right. But those are the type of things where I'm always like, use pain to empower you, especially in like our professional life or just personal lives, at like a breakup or a job loss. All those things can help push you to the edge, but then empower you to drive faster and harder towards the thing you actually want. Injuries being the same thing, right? Like that makes you a sharper athlete. That makes you pay attention better to skill. And that's exactly what was in Tiger's eye, right?
Agreed.
Like he had the commentators coming at him, but he knew his head was in the game for him and his skill was the only thing that was going to prove that.
Yeah.
And so proud of that, Selena, everyone.
And it took him time.
Absolutely.
When I saw that he had his back injury insert, he has fused vertebrae in there,
Oh my
and he's
God.
still doing a lot of rotation. So it took him a while to learn
Yeah.
what he had to do to work around that. You know what I mean?
So what was that process?
I'm not really too keen on like the detail, but if he had physical therapy, sure enough, he had to recover from the surgery itself. It's still probably painful as heck. And then you have to learn a new game because if the vertebrae are fused, well, you're gonna have to get rotation somewhere else.
Ooh.
So he has to change like his whole new swing and all that stuff. But
Damn, that's so cool though, right?
Tiger Woods,
Like,
call us up.
We got you.
We'll happily help you.
Shout out to you for that game though, man. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
And knowing that, wow, it makes the game that much more challenging, right? But it's true passion that guides that. And I have the highest level of respect for athletes. And that's why I preach the athlete mindset so much because, you know, not everyone has to go out there and play sports, but the athlete mindset is just being resilient, being able to have a student mentality, putting in that work ethic. And when you have a student mentality, you can go into any uncomfortable environment and thrive, right? But it just takes work ethic and that training mentality of I'm going to show up every day, learn something new, fail hard, fail forward, and push forward. And what I try to teach people, I do a lot of corporate wellness events.
Cool.
And so what I teach them in that space is, you know, don't use fitness just to like gain a good body. What you need to see it as is, do you want that $50,000 raise? Do you want to be in that C-level executive position? Do you want to go start your own business? Cool. Use fitness as that vehicle that's going to get you there because that's your energy, right? That's your work ethic. The work ethic that you see inside of a gym directly transferable into a workspace,
Totally agree.
right? Like,
Totally agree.
I mean, I go in the gym 6 a.m. I'm a very nice, happy, very vivacious person, but 6 a.m. in the morning, I cannot see anybody.
Tunnel vision.
I'm straight tunnel vision.
Yep.
And it's like the crowd is, like, the gym is the most crowded at that time.
Yeah.
But I make a point to get there at that time because I know I work in tech. And so for me, I have a lot of males coming at me. I have a lot of, like, women in tech things. Like, there's so much going against me. But I know if I take that gym mindset of everyone is working out around me, but I have that tunnel vision of I'm here for my goals, technology is just helping solve my problem, then I get faster to the finish line, right?
Yeah.
Because no one can stop me.
Yeah.
And what I try to preach to people is to take that athlete mindset and go out there and conquer anything.
Yeah. Favorite exercise in the gym?
Deadlifts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man. That was...
Yes.
Have you heard of Barbell Brigade?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's where I hit my deadlift, 207. This was like...
Oh.
It was so awesome. But Barbell
Sumo
Brigade...
or like, so I don't sumo.
No,
I
straight.
don't really know. You just go straight. I understand the advantage, disadvantage, but there's something.
I'm
about
already
just going
short. I'm not
straight.
going to do a sumo.
Yeah,
Like, that's not going to do shit for me. But man, they cheated. So they had like their PR records, but it was like up to like 100 pounds, or it started at like 110.
Yeah.
And I was like at 102 back then, and I hit a 207. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna write my name on here. But they don't have a category for me, so
Boo.
it's okay. Small and strong, just taking over all the
That's
gyms.
what's up.
Yeah.
Yes, I love deadlifts.
Yeah.
Squats seem like too much work for me. That's all right? Like, you gotta like put it on your back, and you gotta. I know that sounds really
Oh
weird.
no, I totally.
But there's
agree.
something about like taking something heavy off the floor and lifting that shit.
It's literally lifting shit up and putting shit down.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, and the deadlift is just by far the most like transferable exercise too, right?
Agreed.
Like, dude, everything, you're working everything. And you just like get in that mean mug like
I know.
mindset too. Like what's your deadlift song? Now that Deadlift song.
Okay, deadlift song. So deadlift
Swat
song lately, and it's unfortunate that I had to learn about him when he passed. Nipsey Hussle has been
that's a good one.
on it lately.
Shout out, let's play it.
Yeah, if I could put it on there,
Yeah.
I'll figure that out. But Rage Against the Machine is my easily like I will run through a wall. So
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, have you heard of it? Yeah,
No.
Oh, seriously? Add that to your playlist.
Is that some
okay?
like screamo shit?
No, it's actually pretty good. I'm not a big like rock person. Look
Yeah.
that up, but it is great. So Rage Against the Machine, Testify. There's that one Kanye West song where it goes bum ba ba bum bum ba ba bum. That stuff
Yeah.
Is it Blood on the Leaves? That thing will
I don't
like
know.
make
Power
me run.
is one of my songs.
Who's
Power by Kanye.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because there's some songs that'll make you literally run through a brick
Oh,
wall.
absolutely. But
No
No
pain.
Hands, Waka Flocka, hands down, best song ever. And he's always at
Yes.
Atlanta United games too. I'm like,
Yes,
dude,
that is true.
sing at me.
Yes,
please.
that is
like,
true.
You're my squat and deadlift song. But
Yeah.
but it's all about like getting in that zone, right? And I love talking about tunnel vision and just like getting into that lift that like gets you lifted.
Mm-hmm.
Because we feel powerful, right?
Yeah. So when I do, I've been on like this 5x5 tip right now.
Ooh,
And
I
so
love
once I get
5x5s.
that fifth one, it's like and I just
Yeah.
drop that shit.
Are you following a program?
So really, my program so it's based off of this study that I recently read because I'm training for the Peachtree.
Yeah.
So the plan is run twice a week, 3 times a week, and then heavy lift twice a week. Because
Really?
it was a study that had split up these runners to go heavy, like low rep, heavy strength, explosive, like plyometric,
Yeah.
and the other one was just purely endurance, like 3 sets of 12, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed that I'll have to review this again, but the heavy lift and the plyometrics, like the people that did the jumps, pretty much had just the same as performance improvements. Whereas the endurance one, where they do just 3 sets of 12, they did a little bit, but not as well as the heavy lift and the plyometric.
Wow.
And so my thinking when I read that, being a physiology nerd, and is that like heavy lifts, plyometrics, it just asks a lot more of the muscle. So you're activating more.
Yeah, your
And so
type
you're
2
just
muscle fibers.
you're just turning on more, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm doing a set of 5, I'm going a high percentage of my 1 rep max. So I'm calling more neuromuscular demand out of my muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like finding more reserve, so that when I do go out and run, the body's like, and this was on Aubrey Marcus' podcast. I don't know if you listen to him. Humble the Poet talked about the world gets lighter when you get stronger.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm 140 pounds with a wet shirt on. So if I'm running out there on the hills,
yeah.
if I know I'm already lifting super heavy on the deadlifts, going up a hill should feel like nothing. Still feels like it's painful.
Absolutely.
But over time, it should feel lighter. So that's kind of my
so
plan.
cool. And I wish more people understood that balanced approach to training.
Yeah.
Even for like everyday people not competing,
Agreed.
right? Like
Agreed.
it's either going all in on the strength training and bodybuilding, no cardio, or all in on cardio. But really the happy marriage of the two is what creates like the most sustainable lifestyle,
Agreed.
right? And I just started training more strength and conditioning style.
Okay.
I play flag football. I got 3 sacks in my last game.
Are you a rusher?
Again. Oh yeah, man.
I am in college, I rushed.
Oh,
That was my favorite.
man!
No, but the
We're
thing is,
bonding.
here's my only thing about Atlanta. So I've been here now 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
6 years. 5 years. I haven't found a league yet that allows the rusher to go right off the snap.
Oh no. Okay, so
Why is that?
So
Atlanta, come
trust
on.
me, I know. I got called.
I hate that.
I got 2 fouls on that.
I gotta wait 2-3 seconds, by the time then the quarterback knows where he's going.
Man, then you
Whack.
gotta work on your agility.
It's
Faster than
whack.
that. But there is this new men's league that is a tackle league, and
Oh,
there is
no,
no 3-second.
Oh no! I'd
Yeah,
die.
there's no
Look at me, I'd
flag.
die.
Boy, there's
It'll
no
just be
flag
a
football
quick.
team.
It'll be a quick stiff arm, and I'm toppled over.
It's okay. That's what the footwork comes in, right? But I think they do pads for that.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I play with Atlanta Sport and Social Club,
Mm-hmm.
and oh God, I love this team so much. The secret project that I've been working on and hinting at,
Cool.
really a lot of that inspiration came from the team that we created last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've been playing flag football since my sorority days. Started 10 years ago.
Nice.
My sisters, basically forced me into playing.
Nice.
And I didn't realize, oh, whoa, I love this sport. I get to tackle people.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting to do that as an adult, it was a great way to meet people, right? To stay active and to be accountable, and for my training to actually support something, right? Like,
yes, that is true.
That's so important.
Agreed.
A lot of us train and don't have intention to use it anywhere, and I think that's where we plateau. So for you, like, you're training for the race right now. That's something new, exciting. You actually want to go to the gym, right? Versus some people that are just kind of like in this like autopilot.
Yeah, and I think what it is I've talked about this in the self-care talk, is you just have to have purpose.
That's
all. And it sounds easy, but you just have to put, like, it may not be like an actual time goal, but like a purpose. So like, for example, like before the running goal, I heavy lifted just for the sake of just being healthy for what I do for work in terms of as a physical therapist. So it's a lot of back exercises, a lot of posterior chain, a lot of core, abdominal, because if I have back pain, and I've had that before years ago during residency, if I had back pain or mess up anything with my hands, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just more like my livelihood, being healthy for my livelihood.
And I mean, but that's most functional for most people, right?
Should be doing.
You should be training for that.
Yeah.
So then what are things people can do for that?
Well, so it really all depends. Like, if you're an office worker, you're going to have to get your activity levels up. If you're sitting 8-9 hours a day, you're going to have to carve out time to get heart rate up, strength up, because just sitting, right? They joke sitting is just as bad as smoking.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Or
yeah.
the recent study I've read was that because you're sitting for so long, if you don't exercise intensely enough or enough throughout the week, the effects of exercise is actually blunted. So you think you're doing workouts, but because you're sitting on your butt all day, the body just isn't convinced to make those changes. So you have to make it intense enough. And you have to make it long enough, like enough, right? Through the week.
That's so important. And that's usually the reason most people calculate their macros wrong, right? A lot of people don't estimate what that actual like 8 to 9 hours looks like of sitting around. But it's not even just in the workplace. They come back home and then they're Netflix and chilling, right? So, I mean, this is me, by the way. Like, I live that life. And then people will take something like yoga and count it as a full day of working out. It is a great workout, but is the intensity going to match up to calorie match, right? And so I like to educate people that, hey, like, cool, you're doing yoga, you're staying active, that's awesome. But if your goal is to be in a calorie deficit, we should probably up the intensity or add in 3 days of strength training, right?
Yeah. Have you taken hot yoga before?
Oh, that's my favorite. Only type of yoga I'll do.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, I just went to so I gym hopped.
I know. I see that.
I've worked out at over 400 gyms. Number 416 was 7 Yoga out in Kirkwood. Okay. You should definitely check it out. Phenomenal studio. Like, I'm all about the yoga studios that aren't like the yogi studios. Like, super cool. They drop like the F-bombs and really cool trap music.
Like
and
real yoga.
It's like real, like freaking real. But I love that stuff. And gym hopping, it's another thing I tell people to do, especially like if you want to stay active, but you haven't found the thing that makes sense for your lifestyle, go around and try different things until you find the community, number one. Like, that is true. Because you want to feel like you belong, right? And the place that you know will get you results and the place that you get excited about coming to. I always say the 3 factors for transformations are consistency, community, and commitment. All 3 things we do at sports leagues, right? And so that's why like I started this event series so people could have that opportunity to do it as a group and try all these gyms. But
so the hot yoga, do they have like the heaters on the ceiling and all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There were I was drenched.
The first time I tried it was in Florida, of all places, with my mom.
Okay.
When I lived in Florida last year, when I was traveling a lot, and I'd go up there and I was like, why are there we could just go outside and do this. Why
is this for? Why are you wasting electricity?
Why are you spending money on this? We'll just do this outside.
Well, man, I mean, but it is a crazy new fad.
Hard. Yeah, it's
but
hard.
What one of the instructors taught me, hot yoga is for training your intestines.
Okay.
So it's just like a way of just making sure, you know, your strength training. So that's for your muscles and outward.
I like that.
But hot yoga really gets inside and gets you ready mobility wise, right? So that's why I started incorporating it.
Nice.
But it is hard.
So let me go back then when we talked about purpose.
Yeah.
And so Endeavor Health, I named it after in terms of whenever I work with a client, I always cater our treatment plan to their endeavor, their goal, whatever their purpose may be. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned in terms of the gym venturing and all that. So what is your endeavor?
I know my purpose in this life and the endeavor I'm on is to use fitness to empower our big life goals. And so my goal is to connect people with a fitness opportunity that helps them find themselves.
Huge.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find that? Is it ever forming or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll forever be forming. The fitness part is really loose, but I know I'm a connector, my heart and soul, and I love being around people. So I think fitness is a great vehicle, and I learned this about 4 years ago when I started my own fitness journey. And really, through this community, I've just learned that there's a big need for it, and fitness is a really easy way for people to connect and to understand it and to meet other people.
You know, one thing I admire about you and your Instagram is like you're very real about this. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. So me and my wife are expecting, and she follows these people on Instagram, and some of them are pregnant or they look like they're pregnant.
Okay.
And me and her are just like, this is not real. This woman does not look like she's really there's just some kind of facade with Instagram, and you know, Instagram's I feel like on Instagram everyone's happy in a way, right? But I really admire yours because, especially with your stories, because you share a lot of, and it's so good and it's real, it's authentic. How do you get yourself to be able to do that?
Yeah, I think I feel like community is the word of the day, but it's creating the community where you feel safe enough to be able to come out and be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I went through this huge acne journey, like fights with my parents, this entrepreneurship journey, and just body image issues, and all of those things I feel comfortable to talk about because I go out and actively engage with people that I know share that similar mindset. And I struggled with following people that gave me that negative kind of mindset. And then what I had to do was take a social media diet. And I preach this to everybody.
That before. Yeah, I saw that on one of your stories.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Weird cough. So I do this every quarter. I try to take like a week, sometimes a month, completely off of Instagram because I think what happens is it's a great platform to connect and to learn, but you have to know what you're going on there for.
That is true.
Right?
Great point.
And so that's why I completely deleted the app off of my phone and try to discover myself. I always say invest your time into doing things that you love so you can find what you love about yourself in an uncomfortable environment. And then when you come back to Instagram, that should be a space where you are just sharing that journey and connecting with other people that share that. And that also means disconnecting from anyone that doesn't align with those values.
I like it.
So I would say get your 5 values in line. For me, transparency is very big. That's what I like to see in my friends. And I look at my community as truly my friends. If you know anything about me, I hate the word followers. I will never say it about a person. I think it's totally degrading.
Because what about influencers?
I'm working on a new definition of the word influencers because influencer, it is an amazing term and it means community leader. You are influencing and impacting change. I think the new industry has shifted the definition of the word to mean something twisted, right? But I think it takes real influencers, community leaders to speak out, have louder voices, so it shuts down the people that are just frauds.
And not so much maybe frauds.
Not frauds.
Maybe, it's not so much fraud.
That aren't influencing good change.
Yeah, I think they mean well, but I think at the same time too, they may be following the wrong metrics, right? Are they getting just more likes? But sometimes, you know, every time when I make content like this, you see me, I don't make a lot of stuff. But like when I do, I want to make sure it's like helpful.
Yeah.
You know what I
of course.
mean?
So I think the problem in the industry is there are no metrics, both the brand side as well as the consumer, the content creator side, they're blurred lines. So I own a marketing agency, so I do contract and work with influencers. So I work on that end, but I've also been contracted by brands like Nike, Lululemon, Under Armour, and Adidas, and I've seen them come at me with their contracts, and even big brands like that don't know how to manage influencers.
It's true.
So there's a big disconnect right now. So that's why I think the opportunity is in real influencers speaking out loud and giving these metrics or giving the actual statements that are going to help define the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be doing that.
You're doing it right now.
Thank you.
But
it's because it comes back to this, right? Like real people like you, Ryan, that are actually giving valuable information. To me, you are an influencer, someone that is impacting people's lives with your passion and your work. If you can get 10 people to do anything because you're doing it,
that's true.
That's what influence is, right?
Yeah.
Not just, it should be about how you make someone feel. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you make a lot of people feel better.
Well, I hope people aren't feeling like crunchy in terms of like, oh crap, I'm not doing that. Like, please, when you watch my stuff, please don't feel that way. Like, this is hard stuff. Like, we live and breathe it all the time, so it sounds easy, and it just was like, oh yeah, you just got to do this. This is hard stuff. And I always think back to kind of like the new exerciser. I always have those people in mind. And you know, it's a personal thing to me because my mom years ago was a new exerciser. And I would go gung-ho, and you got to do this. And then, you know, I kind of wised up and realized, you know, in terms of psychology change, behavioral change, you really have to be conscious or aware or particular how you try and influence that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember telling her, I was like, you know, Mom, just pick one day a week, 10 minutes a day of walking.
Yes.
And that's it. And now, before you know it, I remember the funniest thing I remember was coming back from PT school for visiting my mom or my parents. And usually it's like, oh, welcome home. I get home and my mom was like, all right, bye. I got to go walk. I loved it. I wasn't even mad. I was like, yeah, okay, bye. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's awesome. My mom's the same way.
Right?
She doesn't drive, and so she walks home from Marta to our house.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'll pick you up. She's like, no, this is my exercise time. It's like, you go, girl.
Okay, I'll see you at home.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's so cool. Yeah. And the new exerciser is, you know, the person that is most vulnerable but also the most excited, right? Like, those are my favorite people.
I know, right?
Because they're willing to adventure, try something new, and learn.
I know. But also, too, they also have to understand, like how you and I have gone through our journeys, like you'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I feel like because there's so much content already out there, sometimes there may be that feeling it's like, because of all the content, I shouldn't make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like all the good blogs and all that, how could I make a mistake? But just if you're listening or watching, you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay.
You should. It's a congratulations point. Yeah. Like if you do, that means it's a learning opportunity.
Yeah. And that's always kind of like hard when I talk about injury prevention. It's like you could only do so much.
Yeah.
But you'll never know. Like take, for example, overuse injuries. There are obviously some things you could do to prevent it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, I thought I was doing the best years ago when I was training for my LA Marathon, and then boom, tendonitis hit right through my quad.
No.
And I was like, whoa, crap, what was I doing? And sometimes it's just a matter of your body. You thought your body was strong enough to handle this volume, and then you learn now your body was not strong enough to handle that volume. But you needed to know that, right?
That's so true. Yeah. I just think it comes down to like being uncomfortable and willing to take those chances, right? That's why I preach gym hopping so much, is because you get uncomfortable. You have to ask questions. You have to make friends. You have to like actually find yourself through this and be willing to make mistakes. And that student mentality of knowing that you're always learning is what will help conquer anything. Yeah. Once again, transferable into the workplace. And I like that in terms of when you are gym hopping or doing different activities, it aligns well with what we already know with the literature. Like when the kids hyper specialize, they kind of lose that ability, that athletic ability. Yeah. So you are not hyper specialized. You are
truly like the athlete, be able to express yourself in different movements, different strengths.
But that's what true strength is,
That's
right?
what true athleticism is.
Yes, I'm an athlete.
Right?
I always try to prove it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play sports growing up or
Me neither.
anything. Cool.
Well, I ran cross country in high school, but they didn't cut.
That's a sport. You got
They
a
didn't
letter
cut.
jersey or letter
Nah.
jacket?
I was terrible. I was
No.
super slow. I'm willing to tell that straight up to everyone. I was
I-
super slow, but shout out to my best coach in the world, Coach Hill. He was like, just keep running, and he didn't cut all us slow pokes, but it got me to where I am today.
Where'd
for
you
sure.
go to high school?
Winter Park High School, Orlando.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
I went to Chambly right here.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
This is your backyard?
This is my backyard. So
Nice.
it's so weird to see all this stuff
All
coming up
changing.
around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Atlanta just offers so much opportunity
There
for
is.
you to stay active,
There
right?
is.
And my goal is to make Atlanta the fitness capital of the world.
And I think you've mentioned
So-
that before in one of your posts, and I absolutely love it. Obviously, we're biased because we're here in
course.
Atlanta. I've been to LA before. So if we're not the capital now, who would you say is the capital, the fitness?
So that's why I started gym hopping.
Okay.
Because, so I know the answer, but I'm going to give you context. So it's definitely out in LA. I
Okay.
mean, when you go out there, it's breaded into their lifestyle.
It totally
right?
is.
So like people go like even bodybuilders are doing yoga because it is part of that Zen lifestyle. And I spent a month out there just studying them and studying people. I was out at Gold's Gym, Muscle Beach, Barbell Brigade, all the big gyms there. But what I took the time to do was talk to people and understand what they were doing. And from a young age, it is integrated into their school systems. It's like their family lives. People are just going out to the beach, and there's a lot more openness to be able to talk about mental health. And I think that's what really allows for fitness to be incorporated into
Good
it.
point. That's a good point.
Next up would definitely be New York, and then Miami. And then, honestly, Atlanta's not too far away. Colorado would definitely be in that top 5 area as well. And surprisingly, when I went to Baltimore, huge fitness community there.
I think DC, you got to add
Yeah,
DC.
DC.
too a little bit.
Definitely DC.
Yeah.
Damn it, Atlanta. Come on. We got to make moves. But we're almost
Atlanta
there.
keeps getting lower and lower.
But
It's like, shit.
The thing is, what those cities are missing is the community aspect of
Really?
it, which is what we have the best of. What I mean by community is people that are actually willing to talk and support each other because we have that Southern hospitality,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
So-
that is very unique to us. here
Oh
in
yeah,
Atlanta.
like New
You
York,
are right.
people are in and out of those classes. LA, like honestly, I was born in LA, but people there, if you're not in line with their goals, they don't give a shit about you.
That's true.
That's fine. Colorado, they have fun. Miami, I don't know what you come in there with, but sure. But what
You're
I
right. Our
learned,
Southern hospitality for sure changes
and
it
that's why I think we have the opportunity.
up. Take your time. You're fine. Just get a drink of water.
Damn this cough. The opportunity we have here is cost of living is cheaper. I think technology needs to be integrated more into fitness. So that's what I'm working on. And I just think people are willing to give other people a chance here. And it's just a matter of getting them together as groups. And I think the pure value is in group training versus these one-on-one memberships now, like the LA Fitnesses, Planet Fitnesses of the world. Like, I think it's a great as a supplemental gym membership, but what's thriving right now in the industry are the F45s, Orange Theories of the world, because they understand what it's like to train like a team.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sorry for the abrupt stop. We were really jamming there, but as you guys know, I'm recording this with my cell phone and my laptop, and I get a message that my home alarm went off. It was a false alarm, thankfully, so everything's okay. But I had to deal with that and stop it. But Mama was so great to let me handle that. So, Mama, thank you so much for coming to record the podcast. I really, really appreciate your time. You're a busy woman, a strong woman that is doing a lot, but it's just so great to be able to spend some time with you and pick your brain and really learn about what you're doing out here. And yeah, we'll continue it one day. I know I'm still around. I know she's still around. We'll maybe coordinate another time for us to work together. Definitely follow her on Instagram at smallandstrong.fit. Again, at smallandstrong.fit. And follow her. She's one of the realest, and I mean that sincerely, realest Instagram influencers, person that I follow and know. And it's so great what she's doing for the Atlanta fitness community. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the abrupt stop, but I will make it up to all of you all very soon. I'm Dr. Ryan Balmes, sports physical therapist with ENDVR Health. Thank you for listening to the ENDVR Health podcast. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.